3:30 Central Time.
No, this is bullshit, man. You know,
if we sell, no, you know what? We're gonna make a deal right now.
No.
Sell
Hold on.
two shirts.
I don't.
Two shirts. It was worth it.
I'm not negotiating with you. You want to know why? Because you could just talk to them the next time you're on TikTok. There was
110 people on there at one point.
A whole 110. Wow.
I've never had 110 on there at one time.
That's not good. You've got 80,000 people subscribed to you, and you got
80,000. We're about to be at 113,000.
You're not making you're making your case worse for yourself here.
No,
next time
the American people.
Here's
there's like 10 American people that have ever had my back.
Fuckface.
And those 10 they're loyal and they're there. But now my UK listeners, they're gonna buy and listen.
Fat fuck. The simple truth is, we had a time we were going to do this at, and then you set the time back, and you said you were going to go on TikTok, but you knew when the time was, and when you start running over, you tell people, I got to go and record the podcast, I'll be back. You don't run a whole more than half an hour longer. You ran like 35 minutes longer. That's like that's such a slap in the face to me, man.
It's not a slap in the face when I'm pushing podcasts.
No. Don't make it about business. It's a slap in the face because whether you agree or not, I do other things with my fucking day. And when I set time aside to do when I set time aside to do this with you, I can't do other things I want to do. Whether those things are important to you or not is a different story. And not part of the conversation because your opinion doesn't count on my day. But to then literally me tell you like 5 times, wrap it up, and you just continuing to have this mundane conversation about food you're eating
no mundane.
Or food you
Did
like.
You see
yeah, I heard. Yeah, I like pasta with marinara. And hi so and so, thank you so and so. Blah, dude, you could do that anytime.
No. You're wrong.
You're
wrong.
Those people.
So
you're not in business with those people.
Okay, but if the business isn't
just
I'm not selling to you.
No.
I'm selling to them.
Just say, hey man, I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
Yeah. I'm sorry that it was late, but you're not. If we sold 3 shirts.
Yeah. Okay.
Today.
Okay.
That's 3 more than we've sold in 6 months.
That's not true. But also, if we didn't, what's your argument? Okay.
What if podcast listens go up by 10%?
Yeah, right.
10% more than we would have had.
And when that doesn't happen, what's your argument? Because you're just like now banking on what ifs. So, anyways, now that I'm thoroughly fucking done with you, take it away, my friend. It's your show.
No, you are unbelievable.
I'm not fucking.
You're unbelievable.
I am going to put as much into this as you put into fucking showing me respect.
I respect you. But
you
hold on.
Okay.
Did you not?
Here's
tore into me.
Wait a minute. No.
Not pushing the podcast.
But not at the expense of the fucking podcast. Not when we're going to do the podcast. Do you understand? The respect comes in me telling you this is how you show me respect, and then you show me the respect. Not this like, I respect you, but I'm going to fucking do it again shit. Because I know you. You're just going to fucking... You know what? I'm glad this is all being recorded. Because this is like...
You know what? Okay, look. This is what... You're right. Do you want me to... That you're right. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, but we're
That's
like...
You're right.
We're like 2 years into this. And you're still pulling this shit.
You're right. You're right.
Between you...
You're right.
Fucking blowing off times and showing respect towards the fucking person that does most of the work, and fucking Marco with his baby daddy bullshit now. I got fucking...
Oh, look at this. This is great.
I'm stacking shit in both hands. There's no reward to this anymore for me.
This baby. And wait a second. I stepped in this week.
Yeah, so...
On a moment's notice.
Was that
problem?
Was that a favor to me or a favor to Marco? Doesn't feel like a favor to me when you then take your dick out and slap me in the face today.
A favor to Marco. Oh,
you know,
man.
I'm looking up the orders right now, and there's a big old goose egg right now. So
it takes time in the UK. Their internet runs slower.
Let me tell you something. This is like the hoodies, where everyone said they were going to buy one, and so we make them, and then nobody buys them. This is the same bullshit. You've got a bunch of people on your TikTok that want you to stay on so they can masturbate to you for 5 more minutes while they eat their Aero bar, and to keep you on, if all they have to do is say they're going to buy something or say they're going to go listen to the podcast, it doesn't matter. They're not going to do it. They're all fucking liars. They lied to you. They lied to you, they used you, and they fucked me. So now I know you have some lovely ideas for this podcast today. I would just like you to take it away. You're in charge, my friend. I
just want to tell you, I just gained 2,426 followers.
Well, that's
that live.
I mean, but you could have done that after we did the podcast and still gained those same fucking jabronis.
You got great ideas. You are a brilliant idea man. I'm selling the business. You're selling the idea. I don't even know why I'm arguing with you here. Why am I even arguing with you?
You're selling fucking. You're selling sneezes in the wind here, my friend. That's what you're selling. I'm not even sure what that means, but I couldn't think of anything else.
I don't know either, but
that you wouldn't want.
I'm the kind of guy though that if we sell T-shirts, you're not even going to tell me because you don't want me to know that I won the war. I know it.
I always send
it's
you.
It's just like when you order a pizza or you order Chinese food or sushi and you slide it in like you talk about 10 minutes we're talking and you're like, I'm just waiting for the sushi to come. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
you're
but
like, no, nothing.
But am I really hiding it? Because I then posted on the Instagram. So am I really?
And then tell me it was from 3 days ago.
Am I really hiding it? Well, it is.
Oh, that was from last week.
Well, it is from a few days ago because I don't post like that day's meal. I'm a little behind, This podcast, we should just end it here. Like 5 minutes of us fucking bickering about fucking bullshit no one cares about. Not 5 minutes. This has been 7 minutes, almost 8 minutes of us fucking yelling at each other.
Well, at least we're not talking about disgusting things that make people not want to listen.
That's fine. What are you gonna do?
That's fine.
Everyone's got a complaint. You can't make everyone happy. So
I feel like we should apologize.
No, I'm not apologizing for shit. The only apology on today's show is you to me, and we still haven't really heard that.
I am sorry I didn't respect your time. Apparently, I have a problem with that because you're the third person this week that's told me, fourth person this week, fifth person. I don't respect people's time. You know what? I will respect your time going forward.
Wow, we caught that on the air. I cannot wait.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I'll probably be late at some point. Come on, we know it's going to happen.
I don't know what to do.
Me being late, once a month is like you not recording once a month. Come on, let's be honest here.
Yeah, but it's not because I didn't push the button. It's because of something beyond my control.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you got today? How was your sushi today?
This
pal?
is your This is your podcast.
No. Don't try to. We know Billy's listening. He's gonna hear it.
He doesn't want to hear us talking about food. So
what do you got? Of health over here. I'm getting ready for my big match with Billy Fives, and you're eating sushi platters.
Hold on. Did you say beacon of health?
Yeah.
What did you eat last night? Did you eat your daughter's fucking Chinese
food? But whatever.
Did you eat your daughter's teriyaki chicken?
And all the rice.
Yeah. All right.
And wonton soup and an egg roll.
Yeah. All right, beacon.
Now listen, Billy hasn't given me a date yet, a match, but now I believe I have opened the floodgates to wrestling because I don't know if you saw on the live just now.
No, I wasn't sitting through that shit.
One Rico Suave, Julio Estrada, asked me if I've got one more match in me, and I said I've got a few in me, and you're on the list, pal. I called him out on the live. I was in the moment. I was feeling it. My people were watching, and I'm like, I was like, me and you one-on-one, old Puerto Rican man.
Jesus.
And now he's like, I'll let you know. I was kidding. He's serious. He thinks we're really going to have a match now. So now I have to wrestle him too?
Well, in front of a whole 100 people, you made a promise. Just like you made a promise to me for 3:30. These things...
There was nobody heard that.
Nobody heard your promise to me, but those 100 people heard you make good to that old man.
Well, I mean, now I've got 2 matches lined up.
Jesus.
Who's next? Who else wants some?
I don't know.
Who else is listening to that?
Apparently anyone...
Speedy, you want some, Speedy? Me and you, Speedy, one-on-one. Come out of retirement, Speedy. Put the camera down.
Apparently anyone that living in a trash can get a match out of you.
What are you trying to say? Billy lives in the trash can?
I'm just saying you're not being very discriminatory in your matchmaking process here.
I've only got 2 matches lined up now. Billy and Rico Suave is a Puerto Rican legend.
Yeah. Are you going to Puerto Rico? Are you having the match in Puerto Rico?
That would be actually. You know what? Maybe we need to go to Puerto Rico.
There's no we. You go have a good time, man.
You're not coming to Puerto Rico?
No, I sold my land in Puerto Rico. I'm not going to Puerto Rico.
I've been once, and that trip was... Have we ever told that story?
I don't think so.
Oh, I should tell that today.
Is this your smooth transition?
Yeah, but I feel like, have I told this story? I don't know if I have.
I don't think so.
This could be a repeat episode.
Yeah, whatever. Nobody's listening now after we yell at each other for 8 minutes.
True.
Just go ahead. Go ahead with your repeat.
So I wrestled in Puerto Rico once, and it was such a nightmare the entire trip that I never went back. So here's what the deal was. So at the time, everybody was going to Puerto Rico to wrestle. It was like the thing. I mean, guys were going every weekend, right? I was living down in South Florida, so it's an easy flight there. But I had got the call, you want to come to Puerto Rico? Okay, cool. So I'll go. So I get all my stuff lined up. The guy gets me a ticket, blah, blah, blah. He flew me JetBlue, which was nice. At least it wasn't a crappy airline. And I get on the plane, and so far so good. I land in Puerto Rico, and that's when it all started. I get off the plane. It is 900 degrees outside. It's just like Satan balls hot. It's hotter than wolf pussy. It is screaming hot, right? Mm-hmm. And the guy, I had the old Nextel phone at that time. You get the flip phone. I call him. I say, "Hey, I'm here." He says, "Okay, I'm pulling up." So he pulls up in this little box car, and he's got his wife in the front seat. Now he speaks English. She speaks zero English. So he says, "Well, we got to wait for this guy, Bobby." Bobby was from New York. He was a big, burly, Puerto Rican kid. Massive, just strong as shit, right?
Why are they flying Puerto Ricans in? You're in Puerto Rico already.
Well, he's from New York, though. He's a New York Puerto Rican.
I understand. So that's what I'm saying. But
I don't know. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get in the car, and I'm thinking Bobby's coming now. No, Bobby's flight doesn't land for 30 more minutes. I am in this car in 100-degree weather. He's got no air conditioning, windows rolled down in the back seat. And you can't just sit there. And he's driving in circles around the airport. I want to vomit. So I'm already annoyed. I'm pissed off. I'm sick. And finally, Bobby comes. Bobby gets in the car. So now Bobby is, 2 times the size of me. And we're squished in this back of this car, right? So I just say, how far is the drive to the hotel? It's an hour. So it's an hour ride. I'm gonna vomit. I'm gonna puke. I'm sick. I'm nauseous. What buttons are you pressing over there?
Oh, I'm messaging Marco
talk about respect. You didn't even listen to my fucking story.
No. He see part of the scheduling was that Marco was coming over to do our other podcast. So now we're overlapped because you can't show anyone respect. So I'm now having to kind of give him the Iggy on the whole situation because otherwise we wouldn't want him to jump in on your podcast here.
Unbelievable.
What do you mean unbelievable? You're telling a really good story so far. You're doing a good job.
Anyway, back to my story. So we're in Puerto Rico. We're
Hot
in the car. We're driving an hour.
30 minutes.
I can't breathe. I want to vomit.
She knows speak English. All right, we're all up to date. Waiting on
so
Bobby.
we get to this hotel, and you have to go into like these gates, and we get there, and all the wrestlers are outside. Cahagas is there. Craig Classic is there. All these Americans, right? This John Allen who's passed away. They're all these Americans. Ken Kennedy. You know who he is, right? Kennedy. No, not him. Kennedy Kendrick, the guy from Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, you said Ken Kennedy.
So, yeah, whatever. You know his name. So we're all there, and we pull up, and it's like this. The hotel looks like it's not in business. So we get in there, and I get in the room, and with Cahagas, and I was like, so Cahagas comes out, and he goes, Cahagas is a South Florida wrestler. I've known him for a long time. He goes, there's no electricity. I said, what? Like, it doesn't even look like a real hotel. It looks like it was like, abandoned and they just took it over. So he's like, there's no electricity. The guy who owns the hotel shuts the electricity off during the day to save power. It's 118 degrees outside. This motherfucker shut the electricity off to save power. So I'm like, well, what are we supposed to do? He's like, they told us just to hang out here. So I go back down the promoter. I'm like, oh, what's going on, pal? I was like, first of all, I'm hungry. He's like, oh, I'm going to go get you guys some food. I'll bring it back. I was like, what's with the electricity? He's like, oh, he shuts it off to save power. I'm like, what? He's like, go in the pool if you guys are hot. Now, we're in Puerto Rico, but we're nowhere near a beach. So we're like the mountains. So we go to the pool. We go in the pool, and we're just, playing around in the pool, whatever. They want us to cut some promos, and us being stupid Americans, we cut them in the pool because we thought it was funny. Anyway,
more disrespect.
It's hot.
More disrespect.
Right. Yeah. From them. But so all of a sudden he comes back with food. It's like an hour later. He brings back McDonald's. We each get one chicken sandwich. That's what he brought back. There's 5 American gigantic wrestlers. This guy brings one chicken sandwich back a piece. And he goes, well, we're going to go to dinner in a little bit. Well, 3-4 hours go by. We haven't gone to dinner yet. So all of a sudden he's like, all right, we're going to go to dinner. So we all pile in these cars, and we drive another hour to, I don't know, the middle of nowhere, to this restaurant. We get there, the restaurant's closed. It's not even open. So there's nobody there. It's closed. So he makes a call, and the owner of the restaurant shows up like 20 minutes later, and he didn't even know we were coming. And he was like, oh, we're closed, but he was going to open anyway. So he opens the restaurant, and they're going to cook food, but you can't order. He's just going to cook you what he wants to cook you, and you eat it. So he made some like chicken and mofongo, which is like plantains, like mashed up, like a mashed potato kind of thing, but plantains.
I think it has
pork. So food was amazing.
I think it's like plantains and pork, isn't it?
Right, yeah. And it's like comes in like it's like a mush, but it was fantastic. Food was the best part of the trip, was that meal. So we eat this meal, and now he's like, we got to go to the venue. So we go from the food to the venue. Well, we're at the venue, and in America, wrestling shows start. They start 7:30 usually, wrestling shows in America, right?
7, 8, yeah.
Right. So here we are. We finally get to this venue, and it's like already like 8:30, right? So we're there, and I'm like, what time does the show start? They're like, oh, the show doesn't start till like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Like, the show starts late there. Well, they're going to go over the matches, whatever, who's doing what. So I'm tag teaming with this guy, John Allen. John Allen's been going to Puerto Rico forever. He's a way older guy. We're going to go against 2 Puerto Rican guys, and they're like tag team champions. They speak no English, 0 English, not a word of English. So we're able to call a match because wrestling, you can, mimic it out and whatever.
Yeah, but even if you don't speak English, you know what drop kick is.
Right. So we do that. So I'm nervous because it's my first time wrestling in Puerto Rico. We're in this like famous like field house in Puerto Rico, and what was the Los Boricuas guys were on the show? One of them, I forgot which one. I don't know. It wasn't Savio. It was one of the other ones, and it wasn't Julio's brother. It was another one. So they were in he was in WWE. Luis Castillo, that was his name. So we're at this venue, and I'm pretty nervous, and I look out, packed crowd, just packed. But it's super late at night, right? My flight's at like 6 a.m. the next morning, 7 a.m. So we're doing a tag team, and I say to this John Allen guy, you've been coming to Puerto Rico a long time. Like, what should I do? We're bad guys. Like, he goes, just follow my lead. Okay. So it's our turn to go out. We come out. He brings a giant American flag out, which he's waving. Right. So automatically the Puerto Ricans hate us, the two, fucking white guys. And we go out there and he's telling me, just follow me, kid. And I'm stupid. I'm young. I don't know. I'm following him. He goes over to the crowd.
It's funny because they're fucking Americans. Like I
get
that you're
didn't like us
waving the flag and you're gringos, but
right. It's wrestling, people.
Yeah,
they know,
I'm
right?
Just saying.
But here's the best part. So we walk out, super nervous. I mean, now it's late. It's like 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night, and we're like the third match. So you already know the show's going to go forever. So we get out there, and he says, follow him, and I'm following him, and I'm not even saying anything. I'm just kind of following him, and he stops. And he looks to his left, and there's a woman holding a baby, right? And she's like a tiny baby. And she has a guy sitting to the right of her, and John Allen leans over. He looks at me. He looks at the baby. He looks at the guy and says, to the guy, he says, that's my fucking baby. The guy loses his shit. No, the guy went apeshit. Like, so now I thought it was funny too until I realized this guy is not having it. Like, he is like, that's all he said. He looks at it and he goes, that's my baby. And the guy went apeshit. So he's like, get in the ring. So now I get it. We get in the ring and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to die. We're about to die in Puerto Rico.
This is how Bruiser Brody died. He got stabbed in Puerto Rico.
Well, the guy's trying to come in the ring. He's got a beer bottle. He's trying to come in the ring. And it's funny because he didn't speak English, the guy, but he knew 2 words. He knew 2 words. Well, he knew 4 words.
Fuck and you.
He kept saying, no. He kept saying, fuck you and suck it. And he would do the suck it DX thing. Fuck you, suck it. Fuck you, suck it. But he was trying to get in the ring to really fight us. Like, he was legit mad. So now we're in the ring, and I'm like, oh, this is how we die. And instead of John Allen, like, taking the situation down a notch, he just kept leaning over the ropes and going, that's right, I fucked your wife. And the guy is like losing it. That's my baby. I fucked your wife. Last time I was here, that's my baby. And the guy is, people, they're holding him back. And now it's starting to get like other people are starting to like get involved. Like, there's about to be a riot. And
this is tremendous heat.
Oh, and I'm freaking out. I wasn't even in like character at this point because I was like a ghost just standing there going, well, this is how I die. I'm like 20 years old. I'm going to get stabbed by somebody in Puerto Rico because of this idiot telling this guy he fucked his wife and this is his baby. And this is it. This is how it goes. Well, it's starting to get a little out of hand. And there's funny because of all the things, I remember one thing vividly. This is all going on. There's a random dog involved in this melee just barking at us. Like, rah, rah, rah. And the dog is just like somebody's dog just wandered into the venue and was barking. Which is funny because I'll tell you something about that later. So it's starting to get like intense, and the good guys' music hits. And when the good guys' music hits, they all turn their attention to them, and now they're cheering them on as they come like to beat our asses, right? Like, they're like, come on, beat these fucking idiot white boys. So everybody kind of settles down. The match starts. I do the opening spot with the one guy. He's a little chubbier. We're 2 seconds into the spot. He breaks his ankle.
What?
Breaks his ankle in the ring. So he's down. I'm like, oh, fuck. So he crawls to the corner, literally can't walk. So he drags himself and tags the other guy in.
How'd he break his ankle?
The wrestling ring was shit. It was a piece of shit
I
wrestling
don't know if
ring.
you did it or something,
No. He stepped. He like ducked a clothesline and just served his ankle, and that was it. Just snapped. So he crawls to the corner, tags the other guy in. Now, like in wrestling, you call the match with somebody beforehand. You talk about what you're going to do. So we had something all planned out into the ending, everything. Like, it's pretty intricate when you call a match. Like, you've got to remember it all. It's basically like your script. Well, now that guy's leg is broken. He's laying on the apron, literally just laying there. This other guy has to come in. We have to work an entire match, but he doesn't speak English. And now we can't we can't mimic it over because we're live. So we proceeded to just beat his ass for like 10 minutes. And then he finally like pinned us, one of us. I think he pinned me because the other guy, John Allen, was like a top bad guy there. So the match is over. The other guy's just laying there the whole time. Match is over. We're going to leave, and he goes back over there. I was like, oh, no. I was like, let's just go. Let's go. It's a calm down. He just walks past the guy again one time and just goes, still my fucking baby. And the guy they're holding him back. Like the guy wants to come after us. So they whatever. So we get back in the back. I end up changing, and I was like, hey, I mean, now it's creeping late. My flight's at 6 a.m. So I was like, I just don't know. Anyway, the last match goes on. Luis Castillo bleeds everywhere, big Puerto Rican bloodbath wrestling match. They love that there. It's probably about 12:30. So the promoter's like...
How many times have you gotten color?
Maybe 4.
4 times?
Well,
how many on purpose?
One time, 3. One time, Johnny busted me open the hard way.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Which I could talk about that too. But because I have another story about Johnny and the dog in a second. So the show's over. It's about 12:30, and the promoter says, taking everybody back to the hotel. Well, somebody said, maybe in Cahagas, he said, hey, the power's still not on. Because he had come like late to the show. I don't know what it was. He knew the power wasn't on. So I'm like, the power's not on. My flight's at like 6 a.m. or something like that. I said, can you just take me to the airport? And the guy's like, what? You don't want to go sleep? I was like, no, I just want to go to the airport. I wanted to go home. I just wanted to go home. I was so disgusted with Puerto Rico, everything.
Can you imagine you go back to the hotel and there's no power and there's no way to like wake yourself up to go to the airport?
Well, not only that, it was so hot. And then I had to rely on this guy to come pick me up. And
right.
I said, I went to the airport in my wrestling gear. Like I checked through security, everything with my wrestling boots on, gear. And when I got through, I went to the bathroom. I like washed up and changed to get on the plane. And I just slept in the airport till it was time for my flight. This is before, a lot of crazy shit. So anyway, it was the worst trip ever. Like I was miserable there the whole time. It was just a miserable trip. And it was only like one day. So a couple weeks later, I'm watching, they had a TV show there. So like we were on TV and I was watching something on the internet and I see Johnny, who is, Johnny is a friend of ours that I basically had trained and kind of took under my wing as a kid. Well, Johnny was there a couple weeks after me and it was airing on their TV show. So I was watching it. And Johnny is wrestling Craig Classic, another friend of ours, and Craig was there the night I was there. So Johnny and Craig they're going at it on this. I'm watching it on TV, and all of a sudden, the same fucking dog from my event just runs in the picture. They're fighting in the crowd, and the dog runs full speed and the dog is snipping as they're going at it, brawling. The dog is barking at them and going around them, like snipping at them, like arr, arr! And nobody's doing anything to the dog, and the dog is just like part of the match at this point.
Is that
but
like
it's the same dog,
arena dog? Like he just lives there?
I don't know. I guess he just comes to their shows. I don't know who brings him, but the dog is like they're fighting, and the dog is like circling them, like, and you see Johnny like shooing the dog off with his foot as him and Craig are throwing blows at each other, and the dog is just like going at it, right? But I never went back. They invited me. I never went back. It was such a bad experience that I never went back. And the only other thing.
What was the bad experience? Just the heat.
It was just the heat. You couldn't go. I never even touched. I never even went in the hotel room.
What a
I went in. Well, no, because everybody was like, we can't. It was so hot, like you can't even go in there. You can't breathe. So nobody went in there. Everybody had the doors open and. There's a couple things, like the food situation at first was bad. The car, I was just nauseous driving the car. I mean, the guy had no plan. But I remember 2 other things where we were like stuck in this hotel for these like couple hours. It was like 4 or 5 hours. And he specifically said the hotel had it was almost like some sort of had like a wall up. So it was like nobody could get in unless you were let in this gate. And he said, if you leave the hotel, do not go to the left. And we're like, what? He's like, go. You can go to the right, but don't go too far, and do not go to the left, whatever you do. So, of course, what do you think we do? We want to go look and see what's at the left.
Right.
There was a sign to the left of the hotel that literally said, danger zone, do not enter. In American. Like, it was literally telling you, don't go there. Don't go there. So we didn't go there. But we were nowhere near a beach. He never took us to the beach.
I wonder what it
we
was.
were nowhere near San Juan.
I wonder if they were like I can't even imagine what that was. If it was like, like some kind of condemned building or something that could fall on you, or if there was like
a drug zone,
toxic
I don't
leak,
know.
Or I don't know if it's fenced and has barricades and stuff. I don't.
And all he told the guy sell to us was that this is the town that Ricky Martin grew up in. I'm like, what? I'll give two fucks where Ricky Martin grew up, like, But the other thing I remember was...
he was a big deal back then.
He was. We were driving, and we see a motorcycle, a police motorcycle, and there's no cop in sight. Well, we get to the light, and I look over to the right. The cop is sitting on the ground, leaning against a tree, with his hat, sleeping, out cold, sleeping, done for. I'm like, oh my God, this cop is passed out cold, and the guy says to me, the cops are corrupt here. Like, they're all part of the danger of Puerto Rico. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus. The cop was sleeping on the floor, leaning against a tree. But it was just a bad trip. It was a bad trip all around. I didn't enjoy it. And yeah, it was just not enjoyable, at all. He paid us and everything. He took care of us that way, paid for our food, whatever.
How was the house? How was the building?
Oh, it was nuts. Packed. Absolutely packed.
Like what? 500 people? 1,000?
Maybe 1,000. Yeah.
Really? Well.
But small venue. But the wrestling was the coolest part. That match, even though the guy got hurt, the whole scene and when I think about it now, I'm alive. I didn't get stabbed. I was like, that was pretty fucking cool. But yeah, and then you asked me how many times I've bled before. So I've in wrestling, you take a blade and you cut yourself. It's the stupidest thing ever. It's not fake blood. You actually cut yourself and bleed for real. So the first time was in a cage match, and I was like, they were like, first time bleeding. I'm like, yeah, you want me to do it for you? I was like, no, I'll cut myself. Thank you. I've watched enough wrestling. I think I can figure this out. So I made my little blade, and you hide it in your wrist tape. And they tell you to take some aspirin and drink some beer, beforehand. So of course, I take a couple aspirin and I drink 5 beers. I'm fucking hammered.
The aspirin's to thin your blood, right?
Right. And I drank a whole bunch of beer and I was hammered. So I bleed, and at first I wasn't bleeding. I'm like, shit, I hit the cage and I'm supposed to cut myself, and it wasn't really coming out. And the guy's like, hey, you're not bleeding. I did it again, and I went I went kind of deep. I was bleeding.
But that always happens. You jab yourself once or twice, nothing happens.
Right.
And then you overdo it. And then you're bleeding for a day and a half, and you're showing your skull,
Right. No, I was bleeding. I was bleeding so much that I had to go to work. That was on a Saturday. I had to go to work on Monday. I had worked at Target at the time, and I showed up with my head bandage, and they were like, you can't have your head bandage. So I took the bandage off. They're like, put the bandage back on. Because it was looked like somebody just carved me up. So I bled. I think I bled 3 times on my own. The time that I didn't bleed on my own.
Is there an art to like making sure you cut yourself above the hairline at least? Or
so I tried that. It didn't bleed. Then I started cutting my forehead, and that's when I looked like I got carved up.
You look like Abdullah the Butcher.
Right. Yeah. He was on that show, by the way. Because in the car he was explaining to us how to do it, because we told him we had never done it before, and he was like, you got to take the blade, and then he was like, so he talked. Abdullah the Butcher was a very scary wrestler, and he talked very low.
He had gouges in his forehead from getting cut open all the time. He had gouges so deep that you could probably wedge like 2 or 3, you could stack 2 or 3 quarters together and wedge them in some of those grooves. They were if you Google image search Abdullah the Butcher and look at his forehead, it's like a tapestry, a road map. It's him and Dusty Rhodes have some pretty impressive foreheads.
So we were in the car with him. He drove with us to the event. It was a 4-hour drive.
Was Honest John?
And what's that?
With Honest John?
Honest John was driving.
Yeah.
That's the best part. So it was Honest John was driving. Abdullah was in the passenger seat. Me and Eric were in the seat behind him, and then Johnny was back there. There may have been some other people with us. And a couple things I remember about that night is that Abdullah talked really low. He talked low because you had to listen then, right? Like, so when he talked so low, you had to listen, like, and you would actually hear what he's saying. You know, he did it so people would pay attention.
That's a good trick.
MVP did that too, a lot. So Abdullah was smoking a cigar like the entire trip, just gnawing on it, smoking on it, gnawing on it. But he like wouldn't let us put the windows down. Like we were dying the whole trip. Like couldn't breathe. Johnny was in the backpack. Like he was just like in tears the entire time. Like he wanted to go home. He was such like a horrible drive. So Abdullah told us like how to do the cutting and we listened to him obviously because he's a fucking legend. And he was really cool. He had really cool stories. But I bled those couple times. Did those couple cage matches. I bled. But then the one time that I didn't mean to bleed, it was me and Johnny. We weren't even in the match. I'm sorry. It was me versus somebody else. Melbourne, Florida. I was married at the time, and Nick was like 2 years old. And Nick and my ex-wife were with me, and we had drove from Boca to Melbourne, which was maybe 2.5 hour drive. So the end of the match was that after I win, Johnny runs in and hits me with the title belt to set up next month, which would have been me and Johnny one-on-one for the championship, right? So bad guy hits the good guy with the belt. You know, I wasn't supposed to bleed or anything. Well, Johnny was young. He was in a rush. And when I turn around, he hits me with the belt, but he doesn't grab the strap. So the strap flips over, like over the belt and flips like we're facing each other, and the belt flips and hits me in the back of my head, the plate on the strap. So he hits me with the belt part, and I got my hand up so it doesn't hit me. But in the meantime, the belt part flips over and hits me in the back of the head. And the plates on those things are really, really heavy, heavy metal. They ain't cheap shit. It's fucking heavy. And it splits. I literally felt warmth immediately. And I fell to the mat, and I put my hand on my head because I was like, oh, that's warm. And I look at my hand, it's covered with blood. And I'm not even selling that I'm supposed to act like I'm knocked out. I looked at Johnny, and he's like, oh, shit, I'm dead. That's what he said to me. And I said, you're fucking dead. You're fucking dead. And he was like, oh, my God. And he runs out of the ring. Like, we didn't even finish the spot. So I get back there. My head's bleeding. My ex-wife, she comes back there with Nick. Nick's a baby. He has no clue what's going on. And they're like, oh, my God, your head is open. It's like a vagina. Like, it was just huge, like wide open gash. And, sorry, Margaret, I didn't mean to say vagina. Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm laughing.
So I'm bleeding everywhere.
You got a vagina on the back of your head. It's
pouring blood. It's pouring blood. So they're like, dude, you got to go get stitches. I'm thinking, I'm 2.5 hours away from my house. I've got a 2-year-old child and an ex-wife who hates wrestling in general. Well, she was my wife at the time. Hates wrestling in general. Like, now we're going to spend a couple hours at a hospital, then have to drive home 2.5. Like, it's going to be tomorrow by the time. Like, and I said, I'm not going to the hospital. And they're like, what? I go, I'm not going to the hospital. They're like, dude, like, you can't leave like this. So Joe the Market Crasher at the time, which now he's, what's his name now? Joseph Samuel or something?
I don't know who we're talking about.
Joe, the Sheik.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Sheik. So he was there, and he goes, no, I got this. Somebody run to Walgreens, and he gives him a list of what he needs. So he's got a towel. He's holding a towel to my head, and he's like, I'll fix this. So the person comes back from Walgreens, and they've got super glue, and they've got peroxide and some other gauze and all this shit. So he pours the peroxide on my head, like, just pours it all over. Then he gauzes it up, and he super glues my head closed once it was all dry, and he squeezes my head, and he just holds it there. And I don't know, a couple minutes go by, and he like, let's go, and he's like, all right, you're good. I'm like, what? He's like, sewn closed. He super glued my head closed. Yep. So it stopped bleeding, we were fine. I got in the car. She had to drive. It was nighttime, and she drove the 2.5 hours home. And I got home, and whatever. I ended up my head was super glue. I had that super glue in my. I mean, like years went by, and you could still feel it. Now today, there's a scar there. It's still tender, that spot, to this day. You're talking, 15, 16, 17 years later. It's still tender to this day. Well, no, it's got to be, it's because Nick's 16. So, yeah, it's about 14 years later. The head, it's still tender to that spot. You can still see the scar. But, yeah, super glued it closed. I didn't want to go to the hospital. I just didn't want to go to the hospital.
Well,
not what I wanted to do.
The problem got solved. I don't,
Right. I mean, I probably got super glued particles in my brain, but whatever. I mean,
I don't think they're in your brain, but
I've only been hurt wrestling twice. That was once. The other time was in Jacksonville, Florida. Me and Eric were in a tag match it was in a church, wrestling in a church on a Sunday. It was me, Eric, and Punisher. We flew up to Jacksonville, and we get picked up in a cab, but the cab driver is the owner of the wrestling company. And we go to the show. It's at church, and they say me and Eric, you guys are going to wrestle. It was MVP. We were going to wrestle. He was there too, and another guy, and the guy was in a mask, but the guy's gear was super flimsy. His tights didn't fit. They were super loose. He had a t-shirt on, and he had a mask that looked like a pair of underwear. It didn't even look like a wrestler. And the guy had the mask on the entire time. I didn't even see him without his mask on. So we got there early, and he still had the mask on. And we're in conversation, and I said, "How long you been wrestling?" Because you ask somebody that. How long you been working? Because you want to know who you're. And he goes, "Well, I've been working for 10 years, but I just got out of prison." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been working for 10 years, but I haven't worked in 5 because for the last 5 years I've been in prison." Okay, all right, cool. All right, whatever, not a big deal. We'll get in there and figure it out.
Sounds like
go to lock up.
Sounds like he's wearing prison gear. This was the best he could do with
Literally, yeah. I felt like he just got out of prison. And we lock up, and he goes to grab my arm and twist it. Have you ever seen wrestling? Twist the arm. When he twists it, he falls, but he takes my arm with him, rips my arm right out of the socket. Right out of the socket. And I was so angry. I was fucking furious because I was like, this fucking guy has no idea how to wrestle. So he rips it out. I pop my arm back in place. He still has my arm, mind you. We get up. I just punched him right in the face. Boop! And he takes the punch, and he goes, "I'm sorry, brother," because he knew what he did. And I said, tag in Hassan. We're done, bro. We're done. I don't even want to be in there with him anymore. But he ripped my arm out. To this day, my left shoulder's still jacked up because of that asshole. But actually, I got hurt. I got hurt one other time. 3 times I got hurt because the third time was you were a big WCW guy.
Yeah.
Right? Do you remember a guy that looked like Rick Steiner? Mad Dog or something like that?
Not really.
He was like a jobber for WCW. He's on all the time. They even put him in an angle at one point with like army fatigues. I don't know if you remember him. He looked like Rick Steiner.
In army fatigues? I don't know.
Older guy.
I remember Sarge.
No, this is another guy. So I wrestled him at the Civic Center in Tampa, and it was like a super show. And Bobby Rogers called me at the last minute and says, "Can you get to Tampa today?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "They have a spot, but this show is going to draw a couple thousand." So my stupid ass drives all the way the fuck to Tampa with my wife at the time. We drive all the way to Tampa, and we were not married yet, actually, and we didn't have any kids yet. Drive all the way to Tampa, and her aunt lives in Tampa, so we were arranged to stay with her. I get to the show, I'm wrestling this Mad Dog guy who's been around forever, and his finishing move
there's Mad Dog Vachon.
No. This is another guy. This is a jobber in WCW.
Buzz Sawyer, but Nothing else comes up when I look it up. So
that may not even been his name. I thought it was Mad Dog. It could be something Dog. I don't know. He was in WCW. I know that.
Okay, well.
So his finisher is the tombstone, but he sits down like Owen Hart broke Stone Cold's neck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this asshole does it. We go home for the finish. The place is packed. A crazy packed place. All he did was beat the shit out of me for fucking 10 minutes. I got like 4 moves in. He hits me with the thing, but when my neck didn't hit the mat, but when he picked me up and he went to do it, he turned his leg and my head landed on his thigh as we went down. I thought I broke my neck. We landed and I immediately was like frozen and I thought I was going to throw up and he pins me 1, 2, 3 and I couldn't move. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm paralyzed. Like this is it. And all of a sudden, like I was able to kind of like shake it off, but I couldn't move my neck. So I get out of the ring, and I get to the back, and I'm fucked up, like bad, like concussion probably, everything. And I was in so much pain. Like, you gotta go to the hospital, and I was like, I'm not going to a fucking hospital. What are they gonna do? You know? They're like, your neck could be broken. I was like, nah, fuck it. So instead of going to the hospital like a normal person would, I went back to her aunt's house and smoked so much out of the bong I threw up everywhere, and I was fine after that. But
probably caught a stinger.
It was bad. Yeah, bad. But yeah, I mean, I think about it. Actually, that's 3 times. I think I got hurt 1 more time too.
Oh my God! Well, unfortunately, we can't hear about that. My 5 o'clock has shown up, and I don't have. I have
is he there?
I have to bump you.
Can we talk how many times Bobby Rogers has booked us across the state only to get hurt?
Yeah, right.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, congratulations! Official. I'm glad you're back.
Thank you, sir.
I had to fill in for you the other day, and I
heard you said kind things.
I didn't do it justice. I asked Ben. I said, do I curse? Do I scream? What do I do? Like I feel like I have to be him or something. Like I gotta fuck.
He's not even him anymore.
Yeah, man.
This is.
Here we go.
This is Mr. This is the new fucking risen from the ashes. I've had a child, Marco Salvino. And now it smiles all the time and wants to tell you stories about his baby and I'm
not allowed to be happy, AJ. I have to be miserable at all times.
You can't be happy with this miserable.
Now he's gonna have lots of like play dates and couple
that's like
friends.
It's like shit. Fucking years away, man.
No, it's already happening.
Look, I'm just saying this.
I witnessed it on Ben. No, hold on. I witnessed on the internet where he did the Grinch where his heart grew 3 sizes big. Like in the middle of a post I saw it happen where he's like talking about, I had a baby and all these people reaching out. All is forgiven. I'm no longer hate anybody and I need the friend that hates and is angry and is always plotting someone's demise.
Ben, we live in South Florida. Give it 2 weeks.
I don't like this new guy.
Like, give it 2 weeks, man. Give it 2 weeks. Someone's gonna piss me off.
He's been sitting here listening to you talk about getting hurt
for like 10 minutes,
but just with this disgusting smile on his face.
AJ understands, man. He gets it. You know what? It's just
right. Listen, look, Marco. I said it beautiful, but you made a beautiful. Your sperm produced a beautiful baby. I will say that.
Thank you, sir.
You know what? I'm a little upset that someone's egg did that.
I'm just upset. Bobby Rogers sent you a gift. Huss came to see the child, and Uncle Ben is just sitting there, grumpy, miserable. He's the grumpy uncle that your kid's like never gonna want to see.
I like the post.
He did like the post. He's so far interacted in the child's well-being by liking a post on Facebook.
You don't want to be over there yet.
No, listen, man, it's fine. It's fine.
I probably
Ben's gonna be the uncle friend who like Christmas comes around and your daughter's gonna be like 5, 6 years old and Ben's gonna just hand like a nickel and be like Merry Christmas. That's Ben. And be like, what? I gave a gift. Yeah.
It's not my kid.
We know you.
Well, first of all, it's not my kid, and I'm not related to anyone involved in making that kid. That kid's never getting a gift from me.
Oh, here we go.
Quick side note. So Bobby, like basically his text on Messenger woke me up going like, "There's some packages in the mail, dummy." And I'm like, and my first thought was, oh no. What I like with Bobby Rogers, you never know. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, all right, did he just a nice gift? Did he do a crazy gift? Am I going to get like 3 PS5s in the mail? Like, what the fuck is gonna like? What's gonna happen? I don't know. And then I'm like, Bobby, listen, just let me know what to look for because of the way our community is set up with packages and everything. So if I go to the mail room, I at least know like what the fuck kind of box I should be looking for. And he's like, oh well, and he sent me the whole thing of these 2 gift baskets, and he got my daughter a little unicorn outfit, which it's cool. It's cool. It's like I got the cool Bobby.
That's nice.
Yeah, I got the nice Bobby presents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look, it could have been that or like 75 Dorito bags.
That's what I was. That's what I was. Best part of that whole thing was they left the package at the front door and knocked twice, and I was in the garage doing laundry, so I come up and Natalia goes, someone knocked on the door. I'm like, oh, it must be one of Bobby's packages. The look that she gave me, because she didn't know, she was like, she just looks at me and goes, what did he send us? And I'm like, we're about to find out.
To be determined.
Oh, it was fantastic. And
see now he had messaged me the day before to ask to confirm your
address
to confirm, because I had sent him your address before. I said it's the same as mine, but a different apartment number, and I should have said no. I should have had him send it here, because I thought a funny rib would have been to open it up and where it says from Bobby Rogers or
right,
Michael
Ben?
Or whatever, just obviously cross it out and write Ben.
Wow.
And then seal it back up. I feel like he would have laughed really hard at that.
That'd have been fantastic.
Yeah.
That'd have been fantastic. We're the baby will be a week old tomorrow, and I feel like we're at a stage where I can come back and start doing the podcast again. So, and Ben and I talked a little bit yesterday. I should have yesterday, and I should have today, buddy, and I did my homework.
Well, you know what?
Nothing's good enough for this guy.
No. Compared to what this fuck did to me today, you're good.
Oh, here we go.
You're good.
What?
He
How
blew
many
me
days
off.
have you been home now?
He blew me off for over half an hour because he was on TikTok Live.
Okay, but here's the question, Marco. How many days has it been since Natalia had your baby?
Oh, we gave birth on the 11th.
You said almost a week.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the thing. Marco's hit the weak point now where he's not slept. Next thing you know, he's going to be telling her, I'm going to go do the podcast. He's going to come over just to take a nap on the couch for 30 minutes in peace. No podcast will be recorded.
Well, I will say that I became very proactive because I didn't understand what baby colic was, and now I obviously, as AJ knows, it's the thing that will, at some point in the first 2 nights, make you look at your baby and just go, why did I do this to myself? Why? Why won't you stop? And then once you realize what it is,
right.
and we watched like 6 hours worth of YouTube videos on this shit, and we happened to have the first pediatric appointment where the doctor's like, oh, do this, this, and this. And like last night, I have to say, I don't know if it's a trend or if it's just an aberration. Last night was a good night.
I mean, it gets better, for sure.
Yeah.
And then they become teenagers and, take all your money. They're total douchebags to you. I mean, it's great. It just gets better from there.
Ben was telling me about Nick's hat collection. I think to rib your son one time, he should just walk into his room and see no hats and go, what happened? And go, listen, I had to sell the lids for fucking for rent. Man, times are tough.
But he did just go with he has his own money now on his own card, so he did just go with his girlfriend to go buy another hat. And I was like, well, it's going to be a wake-up call when you want a car. And I'm going to be like, you selling the hats for the car? Because I'm not buying a fucking car.
He does realize that the money that's in the account of that card wasn't generated by his hard work, right?
And he also, I don't think he has any idea that the money actually disappears. It doesn't just stay there.
Yeah. So. You don't just have $600 forever.
Right, yeah. Once he gets his first overdraft fee, he'll be like, what happened?
Oh, man.
Sorry.
You got to do that TikTok with him where he says, you never buy me anything, and you take him around the house and you turn on the water and point at it, and then you open the fridge and point at it, and I don't buy you anything.
I do nothing for you. I'm terrible.
You take him outside. You point at the roof.
All right, I'd love to chat with you guys, but I'm about to shit my pants.
Shocker. That's code for I got to get back on TikTok.
No, I'm going in the toilet now. It's coming out. We got to go.
Take it easy, brother.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
You fat pig. Oh, let me.